So what makes React so awesome? In this video, we'll look at 5 different React features. The first one being components. In React, everything is a component. Let's say if you had this web page, this was the menu bar, this was the footer, and this was the main hero image. You could define all these 3 things as a component, and you can keep them separated. And then if you're designing or developing other pages, you can simply import these components into those pages as well. And if we imagine these 3 to be different components in your project, you can keep changing them or keep reusing them. And you can also try different combinations of these components to create a completely new page. You don't have to, once you define a component, you don't have to again define it again. In another language or another framework, you might have to copy this code again and again to different files to create a different page, but not in React. In React, you can define a completely different separated component, and then you can keep including those components in different combinations to keep creating new pages. So whenever you encounter a new component or something new in a page, you again define it as a new component and you store it so that you can use it later on in another page. The second is SPA. So React is a single page application. Let's say if this was the web page and there was another web page after that, all you had to do was re-render these components in a different combination, right? That's what essentially a different page does, right? A different page might have a few new components, or it might have the same components but in a different combination. With React, you can have the same page, but with navigation, you can keep changing the components inside the page to get the feeling that you're on a new page. So since it's the same page always rendering, React does not have to reload or re-render a lot of things, and that makes it super fast. Then you have the virtual DOM. So React creates a complete copy of the JavaScript DOM for itself. So DOM is the document object model. Basically, it's a DOM tree that JavaScript creates for you. So that means this could be heading tag, this could be a paragraph tag, this could be the body tag, right? These could be all different other tags, image tags, and all those things, right? JavaScript creates a DOM tree for you. And React creates a complete virtual copy of the entire JavaScript DOM for itself. And whenever a component changes inside its virtual DOM, let's say the color of this component changed, it will now compare this with the actual JavaScript DOM completely and only render those things that have changed. It won't render the entire DOM tree again or re-render the entire DOM tree again. This means that saves a lot of time and resources, and that makes React really fast because you don't have to re-render all of the elements in the DOM tree. Then you have props. So let's say this was the component which was white. Now you can not only reuse this component, but you can also change its properties by passing something called as props, which are basically properties. So you pass a property called color, and now in a different page, you can have a different color like blue, or in a completely different page, the third page, you can have the same component, but you can have a different color for it, which is yellow. So you don't have to create a new component. You can just use the same component, but you can pass a different prop, which is the color, and you can use it in a different way completely. So this saves a lot of coding time. Then you have state. State basically is an object. You have to define a state for a component. And once you define a state, you can change the state as which is basically the behavior of the component. So let's say this component was a rectangle. It became an ellipse, then it became a parallelogram, just because the state is changing. And you can think of this as the timeline. So as the time of the application goes ahead, the state can keep changing of the component. You can also trigger the changes in states based on different events. So this makes the components very, very reusable, and React. This makes React a very strong language, very strong framework. So state, props, virtual DOM, and SPA and components. These are the 5 factors that make React a very strong framework. So thanks a lot for watching this video. I hope this was helpful. And if you like this video, then do subscribe.